Hi, I'm Lisa Singer. I am the Senior Director of Event Programming at MediaPost, and this is Brand Insider BTS, where I get to pull back the curtain on some of the most influential women brand marketers today. And with me is Julie Wade. She is the Senior Director of Marketing at Taziki's Mediterranean Cafe. Hey, Julie, welcome.
Hello. Thanks for having me, Lisa.
Yeah, no, it seems like just yesterday we were hanging out in Park City for the QSR summit. So that was a pretty incredible time given the blackout. That was a first for me.
It was. Yeah, that'll be a conference I will never forget. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
No, I mean it really could have been so much worse, but you guys were all you just it was luckily it was like the second day, so you all knew each other already, and everyone just sort of grouped together and was very supportive. So and you did an amazing job presenting in the dark. So well,
Well, thank you.
we had some sunlight come in once we moved, but that was really fun. So but it just showed me how great you guys all are when you come together. So I loved that. Well, of course, for this, so I always get to see your, marketing and business savvy at the events. But for this, I want to get to know a little bit more about Julie personally. So I really want to start off with first, congratulations for your team. I know you've received a lot of awards this past year from what was it? You got received Best Restaurant, Quick Healthy Food. That was from USA Today. Entrepreneur Franchise 500, ranked number one in category. And then also the Best Fast Casuals, Top Movers and Shakers, so top 100. So that's pretty amazing stuff. Congratulations on all of that. Obviously, it's the team effort, but it's led by you.
Thank you. We are very excited to be included in all of those lists. And it is definitely a combination effort for everybody here on our team, in the brand, in the stores, serving our guests every day. The USA Today, that was exciting because it was really voted on by the guest and by our customers. So that was really, ground up recognition.
Mhm.
So that was exciting. The fast casual, we really made great strides this past year, more than doubled our ranking there, really shot up in that ranking. So yeah, a lot of progress. It's nice to be recognized, both by your guest and by the industry for the work that's being done, that sometimes you want to pull your hair out, and then to get those accolades and the recognition is really heartwarming and assuring.
That's awesome. Well, I want to actually back it up though to the movers and shakers in
Mhm.
terms of that award. And what does that mean to you? A mover and shaker, and not in business as far as what your campaign's going to look like and what you do for work, but in your career as a mover, like what is a mover and shaker? How does that define you? Or even your personal life? What does that mean to you?
I've always probably been a mover and a shaker. I've always been one of those people that wanted to be involved in absolutely everything. Wanted to have my hand in every single thing that was going on. I like to be involved and know a little bit about everything that's happening. Um, I follow social media and current trends avidly, so like to see what's going on out there in the industry. Whatever industry it is that I'm in at the time. Right now, it's restaurants. It's been retail in the past. I've been in confection, even when I was, that's kind of a subset of the restaurant industry. And I still subscribe to some confection publications and want to keep up with what's going on there. So I've just kind of always been like that, like to have lots of activity, things going on all the time. I don't like to be stagnant. Um, Always want to kind of be on the go and always learning still. Even this far into my career and into my life, I still like to be learning what's going on and using that knowledge
Yeah.
as I move forward.
Yeah, no, it's so as you said, it's just really keeping on top of things and never stop learning. And you started to mention a little bit about the different careers you've had, or not careers per se, but industries that you've worked in. So let's back it up for when you were first, graduating, and what were you aspiring to be? Was marketing on the list? I mean, you mentioned obviously marketing, but franchising as well. Like, were those things even in Julie's head back then, or what were you hoping for? And talk about how it evolved to where you are today.
Sure. I'm actually one of the few people that probably went to school to do what I'm still doing now. I graduated with a degree in advertising from college. And I really thought when I was in school that I would be working for an ad agency. I really didn't know what, other than an advertising agency, what jobs there were. It never really occurred to me that on the brand side, that there would be, in-house kind of folks. I guess I just had a very limited scope of what would be available to me. And then when I got out of school, this was eons ago, there was a recession that was happening and agencies were not really hiring. And I ended up in a completely different industry, nothing related to advertising. I was miserable. Was just kind of plodding through and working just a 8 to 5, get through the day kind of job. And I had a sorority sister that called me one day and said, "Hey, I just interviewed for this job. I'm not interested. I'm moving back home to Kentucky, where I was from. But I thought about you. So I gave him your name. It's only a part-time job. Have no idea if you'll be interested. But it's with a franchise of Blockbuster Video." I was like, "Oh, okay. I rent movies. That sounds kind of fun." So I went and interviewed. They did call me. Interviewed. It was a part-time marketing position in their corporate office here in Birmingham. I'd say corporate office loosely because I think the entire office was about maybe double the size of the room that I'm in now. They had 17 locations in, I think, Alabama and Mississippi. I'm in Birmingham. So it was a small operation. There were, I think, 3 people in the office, including myself. So I started out part-time with them, and kind of the company I was working for, I worked them part-time with the marketing and the Blockbuster part-time. And they told me, oh, it'll be probably about 6 months before they can really afford to have me full-time. Well, it ended up being 6 weeks. I came on full-time. And then it just absolutely exploded from there. The brand, or the franchise, really grew. They were at 40 something units within a couple of years after that. I rose through the ranks. I was a VP there, I think before I was 25. Loved every minute of that job. Working for Blockbuster Videos pretty much straight out of college. Was really, really fun. I met lots and lots of movie stars, got to go to lots of fun things. Went to Hollywood, went to Vegas more times than I can count. It was really fun.
That's awesome.
So,
did you win any money when you went to Vegas?
Actually I did, which I didn't bet. I was like too scared to do any of that. And my boss at the time and mentor, that owned the franchise, he was like, "Okay, I'm going to teach you how to play craps." And so we ended up on the craps table a couple of times. And so he kind of won me a little bit of money here and there, but I never really bet a whole lot, but it was fun. That I learned so much. Like, I had never seen a P&L before. And I can remember sitting around the conference room table, like learning how to read a P&L.
I thought you said a piano at first. I'm like, oh, you there? And
yeah. No, a profit and loss statement.
I do know what a P&L is.
Yeah.
Piano when you said,
just learned so much about the business. I got into all aspects. Not only did I end up doing marketing, I ended up doing some product selection. So I had to analyze, what titles were selling, what was renting, what needed to be on the planogram in the stores, what we needed to buy candy wise, magazines, all those different things. I mean, it just really exposed me. I was there for 6 years, so I just kind of got to do it all. I had a team that worked for me, uh, was office manager for a while there. So it was definitely laid the foundation for my career and taught me so very much. And still, like, actually talked to David, that was the owner of the franchise. I actually talked to him yesterday. So we're still in a communication. Definitely see him as a mentor and somebody who was very instrumental in molding and shaping my career from those very early days. And then I was with him for 6 years, got married, had a baby. Then I retired. I was like, okay, I need to stay home, because when I am at work, I feel like I'm a terrible mom. And then when I'm at home, I feel like I'm a terrible employee. And I could not reconcile the two. So I really wanted to work part-time. And he did not want that. He said, I want 100% of you, or I don't want to have you at all. So I left. And for about 10 years, I was pretty much a stay-at-home mom. I did piddled in some things. I did some professional development classes, taught those. I did work at an ad agency part-time for a couple of years. Just kind of did, a few things here and there, but was totally busy the whole entire time. Did PTO president, service club president, all that kind of stuff. I can remember my mom saying, you need to go back to work full time so your life can slow down. I was like, yeah, you're probably right. And then so after, it was about 10 years exactly, the gentleman that I mentioned before, he had gotten out of Blockbuster, like just about everybody else had at that point.
Not the only one.
Yes. Thankfully, before the bottom completely fell out of the whole thing. And he had started a frozen yogurt concept here in Birmingham. And I would see he and his wife out different places. And, I kind of always told him, if you ever need me again, call me. My kids were older. It wasn't like I was having to do go to the elementary school and, read to the kids every week and all that kind of stuff. And so he called me one day and he's like, yes, okay, I need you. And I need you to start tomorrow. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, so marketing stuff? And he's like, no, I need you for product. And I was like, product? Like frozen yogurt? I don't think I'm qualified for this. And he's like, well, you know kids and you know food. And I was like, well, I have kids and I eat food. So if that makes me qualified, then okay, I'm game. So I literally started with him the next day, drove to Atlanta with a coworker I had never laid eyes on, and went to a distributor meeting. Had never been in food service before. Did not know anything about the food service industry, and just immediately started soaking up everything I could. We didn't have any kind of analysis of what flavors were selling, what toppings were selling. We were actually paying people to walk out the door with certain toppings, because it was one of those concepts that was pay by weight. And once I dug in and started doing an analysis of the toppings, like we were charging, I think it was 35 cents an ounce at the time. I think that was right. Some of our toppings were more expensive per ounce than we were actually charging the customers. So I was like, okay, we got to get those off the topping bar. We got to get rid of those. So that was one of my first things. Then moved into marketing, kind of kept going from there, and was there 7 years. Then consulted.
Not to interrupt, but it just sounds like, as you said, you weren't in a particular industry. It was more, you had the leanings towards advertising. But I think what's so important, what you just said, was you jumped in where you had an opportunity, even though it was, free, only part-time, and you did everything. And that can help. Like, I think that's where, because, as I know you part of franchising now with Taziki's, and I know that's been a part of your career. And so you are willing to keep evolving and learning, as long as you had that I think that basic knowledge from what you were learning in early on at Blockbuster is able to carry out. And I think that's important for, anyone who's watching who wants to say, what do I need to do to get to this point? So I think that's a valuable lesson.
Yeah, it was really interesting being on the franchisee side with Blockbuster. So, we were on different committees, and the owner of our franchise was on their FAC, and I was on a marketing committee. So being on that side of it was interesting. So when he came to me, 10, 11, 12 years later, and wanted me to join his company where he was the franchisor, I was like, oh yeah, okay, this is exciting, having the opportunity to flip that around and be able to be on the other side of it. And that's been really fun to be on that side. And I think it's helped me having that early experience as a franchisee, even though it was eons ago. I know what it's like to be on the receiving end of those emails and those planograms and those rollout guides, and being like, what are they talking about? This doesn't make any sense. So I always have that empathy for our franchisees, whether it was with the frozen yogurt company or now with Taziki's. So I think that has definitely helped.
Give you a more rounder perspective.
Yeah, definitely helped in that perspective. As I've grown in my career, I've always been able to look back on that.
Yeah, I'm curious. I saw that on your, as I always say, I do my snooping, and on your LinkedIn, you posted about your daughter.
Yeah.
Is it M or Emmy?
Emmy.
Emmy. Okay. And so you mentioned about, almost every organization now has bring your daughter to work day or bring your son to work day, which I think is awesome. I mean, I think it's a great way. I do talk with a lot of women and their children, seeing what they do. I think it's a great example, and you even making the choice to be a stay-at-home mom. That's a choice that worked for you and you chose. Others choose other differently. Combination. There's so many different ways. It's not that one size fits all. But then having Emmy be able to come, and she interned with Taziki's this past summer. So talk about that. I mean, that's probably an awesome experience for you guys. But in taking it a little broader, like, what advice, like watching her work, seeing her as a young mind, and looking probably wide-eyed, like, where do I go from here? How do you advise her, or of someone similar to her, wanting to have not only a career in marketing, but perhaps get to your level or even higher?
Well, one of the things that when she was early on, and really she is not necessarily aspiring for a career in marketing. I really wanted her to see, like, what was it like to be in an office all the time? What is it like in a corporate environment? Because she really had no concept of that. Early on, she wanted to be a nurse. And then COVID and all of that kind of just topsy-turvy her world and things. And so when she graduated from college, it was kind of one of those, what do I do now? And so I was like, okay, come work with us. I think she's very, very social media savvy, very much in that digital world. So it was, we can use you. We need some content creators. We have a lot of projects. We have some data analyst projects that we need somebody to work on. And then, I wanted her to kind of see what it was like to be in that office environment, see a corporate office, see a team of people work together, and to see other women in the workplace, and how we do kind of work in that day-to-day environment. Because you can tell I'm in an office now. We are in the office 3 days a week. We're a very close-knit team. I do have several remote employees on our team that we get together, and Emmy was available when we were able to get together, which was good because we had a retreat while she was here, so she did get to be with the full team. But as she's kind of developing what she wants her career to be, I've been thinking about, my path and what it was, and trying to help her think, looking down the road, what do you want to be doing 20, 30, 40 years from now? And how do you want that to fit in with a family? And do you want to be a full-time working mom all the time? Do you want to have flexibility? Things are different now than when I was coming up. There was no such thing as remote work. When I was in my 20s, you either went to an office all day, or you went to a school as a school teacher, or you went to a hospital as a nurse. There was no, stay at home work or any of that kind of stuff. So they do have more opportunities now. But I really want her to kind of think about those things, and all women as they're coming up, as far as, what if you want your life to be well-rounded, and whatever that ultimate goal is, if you want to have that family life and a healthy career life, what are some of those areas that can help get you there? Social media and digital marketing and things, those are great things that you can kind of piece together all of those things together, because you can do so much of it either in a remote atmosphere or, in a part-time way. Being an accountant, I know when I was coming up, my mother, after seeing my experience in college, advised my uncle to have his daughter go into accounting. And that's what she does now. And she does it part-time, which is great, because she homeschools her children, and she's able to do that and be a part-time accountant at the same time. So, thinking about all of those things, when you're coming up, you may just be so career focused, and you don't necessarily think about those things down the road and how all of those pieces may fit together in the future. But it's something the earlier you can start thinking about that, the better off.
Yeah, no, and I kind of go different ways. And in one sense, yes, sort of having that big picture. And if you know the kind of lifestyle you want, and whether you want children, whether you want to be a stay-at-home mom at some points, whether you want however you want to fit into your world. But I also sometimes think, like you mentioned, okay, get into social media and digital. Well, who's to say how important that's going to be 5, 10, you know what I mean? Like the industry evolves so much. So I almost feel like sometimes you can pigeonhole yourself to thinking too broad or too much in the future. Like, I think you need to maybe have it on your radar, but at the same time, pick what's best for you right now, or at least in the near future. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's very true, because 15 years ago, social media was not even a job.
Right.
That wasn't even a thing. So
you're jumping at your daughter, who can actually do that well, much better than I'm sure you can. And then in 5 years from now, there may be something else. So I just think it's always being ready to sort of take on, which is what you sort of going back to what you said in the beginning, learning, taking new things on, learning new skills, and then you can just kind of keep moving forward from there. With the big picture there, but you never know. Like, it's always just like, what is that saying? God plans or laughs. I'm so
laughs when you make plans. Yes.
God laughs when you make plans. Like, so I just feel like there's sort of a way to kind of, especially in the advertising marketing industry, anything with the digital world. So it really depends, as opposed to perhaps maybe an accounting career, although things can change there too. So you just never know.
Well, and I think too, the most important thing is to make those connections, because it's the human connection that's what's going to help you move your career along.
Yes.
Because it's people, and the people that and the people that come to depend on you. And if you're a capable person who is smart and dependable and willing to learn and responsible, then they're going to remember that. Because if I had done a really crummy job at Blockbuster when I was in my 20s, and I had been flaky and immature, then when I was in my 30s and my former boss had needed somebody, he would not have picked up the phone and called me. No. So it all comes around again.
Yeah, take every
So
job seriously, even if you think it's maybe a bit of a throwaway. You never know what you're going to learn or where it could ultimately lead to. So
yeah,
I
yeah,
completely agree.
exactly.
I want to get on a little bit of, I like to have a little more fun and sort of combine the brand with you. And one of the things when you go to your website, I don't know if you want to call it a slogan or whatever, but it does say savor the summer. And it's, of course,
Mhm.
promoting Taziki's um, different products that you guys have. But I'm curious, what does that mean to you? So when you think and say, let's look at this past, or first let's start with just summer in general. What to you is savoring the summer? What food, and nothing to do with Taziki's, but what food is your, oh, I only usually have it in the summer, but maybe I'm going to have it into September, October, so I can savor it a bit.
Okay, well, summer is my favorite season. I'm kind of lamenting that summer is almost over. The only good thing I think about fall is that college football is starting. So um, I'm very sad summer's coming to an end. I love all the light foods of summer, like chicken salad, pasta salad. Those are kind of my go-to summer foods. I'll usually make like a big batch of pasta salad. Now my husband and I are empty nesters, so now it's just the two of us. I'll make like I think it was last week or the week before, I made a batch of pasta salad and it lasted, you know, 2 or 3 days. We'll eat on it, and then I think I finally just threw it out because we were like so sick of it.
That's my favorite. I love cookout food. Oh my gosh, just any cheeseburger, potato salad,
Yeah.
corn on the cob, my favorite.
Oh yeah, yeah. I love corn on the cob too. Yeah, I think I've had it probably, oh gosh, I don't know, 5 or 6 times this summer.
Yep.
I love
Yep.
that too.
And it's something you don't go to, and I mean, I'm sure it's seasonal too, but just even that meal, like that is a cookout meal. It's not
Yeah,
something that in the middle of February I'd be like, oh, let's have cheeseburger, some potato salad, and corn on the cob.
yeah,
Okay, so now
yeah.
savoring the summer activity. So, and let's be more specific. Is there something you've been doing this past year aside from Emmy interning with you, but something or moment maybe that just is so much about this summer you've experienced and that you're, you want to savor?
Well, this kind of relates to her as well. When she graduated from college, back at the beginning of the summer, she and I went on a mother-daughter trip to Spain and Italy.
Oh, very nice.
So yes, we had a blast. It was so fun. So I've kind of it was fun to do it right after she graduated, but it was kind of sad that we did it at the beginning of the summer because then like I've had nothing really to look forward to the rest of the summer. Because that was kind of our big blowout trip. But my husband and I have an anniversary coming up in a couple of weeks, so we're going to try to sneak away for a long
One.
weekend. So
Which anniversary?
29.
Wow.
So
Well, happy anniversary,
thank you.
early anniversary. But you
Yeah.
bringing up your trip with Emmy, I have to ask because, of course, Mediterranean, your Taziki's is all based on the Mediterranean flavors. And so you just went, so this will be an easy one. First of all, favorite Mediterranean location.
Oh, okay. So this trip we went to Spain and Italy, and probably our favorite stop on that was Mallorca, the island off the coast of Spain. I went to Greece with my sister last year, and my favorite spot on that trip, which all the Mediterranean, this was my favorite spot there was the Princess Islands. It was off the west coast of Greece, just absolutely gorgeous. It was so beautiful. We were on a cruise, so we only had like that one afternoon to spend there, and I would love to go back and spend multiple days. It was
Would that be
just
your
gorgeous.
favorite spot, even compared to what you saw in Spain, or is it?
Yeah,
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 that is
yeah.
fantastic.
It won over everything. Yeah,
I can imagine. It sounds
yeah.
gorgeous. I'm actually going to Spain in September, so
Oh,
you have to give me some tips.
yeah,
But
yeah.
so anyway, moving on, and these will be tips for me as far as the food. Okay, they're known
Uh-huh.
for obviously the Mediterranean diet and the fresh vegetables and the wines. And so talk about that. Like, what is your, like, out of all the things that go to, you need to, when you get to, and I'm sure it obviously will change, but let's just focus on, say, Spain, since I'm going there. So it will be helpful to me. But what is that food that you just had to have while there?
Okay, this is gonna sound really strange, but it was the pizza.
Really?
Yes. So, well, okay, my daughter and I are not like very exotic eaters. I mean, we like food and we'll try different things, but the food in Barcelona where we were is a ton of seafood. And it's not it's some like fish, but it's a lot of strange shellfish and a lot of things that come with eyes that look at you, and yeah, just very, very bizarre things. So
And that I'm my
um
guide there.
yeah. So we found a little restaurant in the neighborhood where our hotel was, and it was not a touristy place at all. Like I think we were the only Americans in there. And the first night after we got into town, we were, exhausted after doing the overnight flight and stuff. And she was like, I just want a pizza. I want something safe that I know that I like. Because just I'm so tired. So she ordered it, and you could just tell the crust and the tomato sauce and everything. It was so fresh and so it just tasted so different from what we have over here. I can't remember what I ordered that night. Um, but I ended up having, I think, more of her pizza than I had of my own meal. And we went back either the next night or the night after that and got the same thing again because it was so good and just so different. It you could tell it just wasn't processed
Mhm.
and just fresher ingredients, and it was really, really good.
It's delicious. It's
So,
funny, when I was doing my snooping, as I say, whatever research, one of the things that came up was pizza from Mediterranean food. And I was
mhm.
sort of like, oh, this must be like an ad for something. You know what I mean? Like, it just, I kind of pushed by it, would not thinking that that would actually be something considered a Mediterranean, you know, food or, specialty kind of thing. But
Yeah.
from what you describe, it does, obviously, that it still goes in line with your, that fresh vegetable, that fresh, for the tomato sauce,
Mhm.
whatever it may be. So that makes sense. And so now, what do you wear? What's the staple, the must have, walking around, being the tourist, or but not looking like the tourist? So
Oh,
you
and well, we had really crummy weather. Um, so I did not pack appropriately at all. I packed, we were there like middle to end of May, and it was supposed to be really warm. So I had packed cute summer dresses, and um I don't think I really packed shorts. But I had thrown in at the last minute a hoodie sweatshirt. So I thought, oh, well, I might need this on the plane. I wore that stupid thing every single day. So all my pictures, like I don't look very cute.
and not
She
necessarily the trendy tourist.
No, no. I mean, there's a few times, well, most of the time, like she and I are both shedding our jackets to take pictures and stuff because we are so bundled up. It was cold, it was rainy, and everybody over there was like, oh, it hasn't rained in 6 months. And now we're getting all this rain. It's like, great. Just when we get over there, it's raining. And then one of my coworkers actually did almost the exact same trip that we did 2 weeks afterwards. They didn't have a drop of rain the whole entire time they were over there. It's like, great. Should have known
Just the
that we would
timing.
get it.
Well,
But yeah, I mean, I had my little Dolce Vita tennis shoes that I'm so glad that I took those. I wore them almost every single day because I had packed a bunch of sandals and I could not, it was too cold. I could not have open toes. So I would definitely pack a cute pair of tennis shoes.
yeah.
Um,
Well, I mean, it's funny. They always say we always can tell the Americans visiting because they wear sneakers. So, but you can't deny comfort. Although and this is not a fashion thing, or maybe it is for me, but the only time I wear sneakers is to work out. And the reason is because I think they're so cute and I know they're stylish and I know they're solely on trend. I have big feet. And so to me, it makes my feet look huge, and it's just not the look I'm looking for. So I will look at other people in their cute little outfits with their sneakers or whatever, and I think it looks awesome. But yeah, it's just I have an issue with that. So
oh, that's funny.
So, all right, the final question before I let you go, just what is it that most people get wrong about you?
Um, I think they probably think that I am very closed-minded about some things. And I don't know if closed-minded is the right way to describe it, but I don't think they know that I guess my heart is as big as it is, and they make assumptions that because of I don't know, that's a very hard question.
I think, and I could be wrong, where you're going is maybe you are someone who has certain opinions and you have certain beliefs and certain upbringing, and all of these things come into play about who you are, but it doesn't define who everyone else needs to. It seems like you're, because you're so sure, you come across so sure of who you are and what you do. If I were suddenly doing something different from what seems what you do, I might feel this, and this is based on what I'm saying you're thinking, might feel that you're going to judge me for that or not think that I'm doing the right thing. But actually, and you're really open to those things. It just wasn't right for you. Did I get it?
Yeah, that is a very good way to sum it up. Yes, very good. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
that's
Well,
yeah,
having met you in person, I
yeah,
can really, but I can see how that, because you do have, you're strong, your opinion, you have strong opinions. I mean, that's great. As a strong woman, you should. But at the same
yeah.
point, you're open-minded to what other people's lifestyles are and what they do and what people want to do. So I think it's a misrepresentation for anyone who is thinking that.
Yeah.
So
Well,
having
thank you.
met you
Yes.
actually in person, I do agree with that. So, well, anyway, thank you so much, Julie. This was awesome. It was so great to get to know you on the more personal side. I appreciate that. And I definitely, you'll have to email me some tips for Spain when I go in September. Hopefully I won't get your rain.
Yes, I know. Are you going to Barcelona?
I'm going to Madrid, then Alicante for a destination wedding, and then to Barcelona. So we'll be traveling about 2 weeks.
Oh, good, good. Yeah. Well, one of my remote employees is in Barcelona now, so she'll have plenty of
Oh,
good
I definitely want
things
to
to
hear
tell
that
you.
then. So we'll chat.
Yeah, yeah. We'll connect. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you again. And thank you for watching. And as I always ask, if you have someone to recommend, if you know a fabulous woman brand marketer and you'd like to have me find out more about her, please let me know and I will do my best. And so thank you. And thank you again, Julie.
Thank you.